Yes, yes, yes. This is JJ, the Claymore Minotaur, returning with another. Wait, this is a driving game. This is a Gran Turismo game. This is Gran Turismo Sport. Okay, mixing it up a little bit right about now. Basically, I am looking to drop some bars and some thoughts on Gran Turismo Sport and how I feel about this game in regards to it being a Gran Turismo game. How it looks, how it feels, what those racing aspects are actually like, what the online's saying, what the extension of that, the esports are saying, and I'll give you some final thoughts. This is originally like a 16-minute video. It could have potentially been about 24, but there's a limit, and I'm not even sure you want to hear me waffle for that long about something like this. But I'm spitting bars anyway. It's happening. Can't stop me, fam. Anyway, I must have done some races and collected some footage for y'all, just so you can see how beautiful the game actually is. I think it is one of the better looking, if not the best looking, of the console racing games right about now. But I think that comes with a slight disadvantage, but we know what that is. If you know me, it's that there's a lack of dynamic cosmetic damage. My biggest gripe with the Gran Turismo games, it was forgivable up until about 4, when it was around the same kind of time that the Xbox released Forza Motorsport, that series of games. And since then, with every other racing game out there, whether it's arcadey or simulation, from Project Cars to Need for Speed, having that dynamic cosmetic damage, I still feel as if this is the biggest issue for me with the Gran Turismo series. I think the closest we got was Gran Turismo 5 with the premium vehicles, and even then you had to put your car through a considerable amount of hell on that racetrack before you would get to see the spoils, as it were. In this game, it doesn't seem to be any different. The best you get are some scratches. We're in real life. Racing is filled with shunts, spin-outs, collisions of all sorts, whether it's into a wall of tires, into another car. It happens, and these things fall apart, and it affects handling, it affects the racing. You see even there, the sparks, they're pretty, they're cute, but it's just not up to par when it comes to an actual simulation of the racing experience. But then again, you mention this to some people and they say, if you want that, go play another game. But the thing is, I want to play Gran Turismo. But as you can see, you can make up your own mind on this one. It objectively looks fantastic, so no problems with me there. The handling of these games with the cars on the track, with a car with a decent bit of downforce, it might seem kind of sterile, but this is because the cars are weighted down, the downforce is pushing them onto that tarmac, and with the racing cars you're able to actually get round those corners nicely, as long as you're managing that throttle control as applicable. Now, when you switch it up to the rally stages, this changes somewhat. Going flat out on undulating surfaces with very minimal traction, you're going to end up in a wall. It's just not going to work. And you can even see the AI, disregarding its aggression, even the AI ends up off the beaten path. which is a testament to the dynamic nature of these races, and I've always been a big rally fan. And you can see getting some fantastic footage of this showdown between me and this, I believe it's an Audi. And the racing experience is quite fun. One thing I've noticed, while you're supposed to be discouraged from colliding with other vehicles, you could race the perfect race. You could overtake perfectly, no shunting, no sideswiping whatsoever, and the AI will decide, nope, not having any of that, and actually spin you out. It doesn't seem to take into consideration that you're also rounding a corner, and that if it taps you, you're done. So it's a bit of a strange one. I do remember in previous GTs that you were penalized for car collisions, even if you didn't initiate the car collision. This one might be a little bit different. We'll see. I played a little bit of online in this as well, seeing what that online racing experience was like, and I had a hilariously underpowered car. It was the new Subaru road car stock versus a bunch of liveried up racing cars. I did get lapped, but that's to be expected, and I guess that was one where you just have to be happy taking part. I just wanted to see what the online was like. It was as you'd expect. I got outpaced on the first straight, so I didn't really get to see what the other online guys' etiquette was like. All I know is that when I did get lapped, I saw the other car coming, and I made use of a feature that's missing from a bunch of driving games, which is the ability to put on your hazard lights. So I put those on, felt like a don, watched him pass me, the race ended. As an extension of that online mode, I understand there's supposed to have been a partnership with the FIA, so they're using this as like a continuation of the GT Academy to some degree, wherein you do well and I guess you get a call up. I have no real interest in taking part in that myself. I'll probably jump in a few online games just for the lulz, but I don't really expect anything epic to come of it for me, because I've been playing GT games for a while, since the 90s, and it was all about that offline versus the AI experience for me. So I understand there's a bunch of missions to take part in that are very similar to your old school GT license tests, and I'm guessing there's some stuff you can do, like arcade. There's supposed to be an arcade mode. There's drifting, but bun drifting. I'd rather rally. That's more interesting to me. But it seems to be a thing that people want in their driving games these days, so I'll leave that up to them. But all in all, while it is quite sterile in terms of the racing experience and how you're expected to play versus how I actually play, it's a game that I will be adding to my collection sooner or later. I do want to play another GT game, and that's pretty much it. JJ the Claymore Minotaur with a Gran Turismo sport video. Say something.